Hello, and welcome to another We Wonder. Today, we are talking a little bit about franchising and how it works with We Insure. We have invited a fantastic guest today. Megan Murphy is joining us. Hello, Megan. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing great. So I'll start off by saying that, franchising is a very interesting industry. There's about 3,800 franchises in the United States, and the majority of them are under 200 units. I would say a good 80, 90% of them are under 200 units out there. And some are growing and some are not. So as many as you know, we are growing at a rapid pace. We've added 11 new states this year. And I'm not going to give you the exact number of franchises we've grown, but it's been more than a 40% growth rate for us so far year to date. So we are very, very excited about the We Insure program. Not only does it work in our home state of Florida, but it works nationwide. And so we're having a lot of people calling us from all over the U.S., and we're very excited about that. So I figured today what we would talk about is franchising, how it works with We Insure, and we brought our most experienced franchise salesperson to join us and tell us a little bit about who's a fit and her experience as well. So
Thanks for having me.
Well, absolutely. I'd like to start with, there's 4 tenets in franchising, right? So when you're looking at a franchise, it basically has to have 4 things. The first one is a brand. And I think you couldn't get a better brand than We Insure. When it says We Insure on it, you pretty much get an idea of what we do. Number 2, we have technology, right? We have access to technology and systems, and that's the basis of what we do on a day-to-day basis. And then the other part is training and support. That's number 3. You have to have training and support, and that's one of our huge competitive advantages is we do all the support. So anyone who comes aboard is only a producer. They don't need to have to worry about hiring all the customer support. We do it on your behalf. And then the final one is buying power, right? That discounted buying power. And in a McDonald's, it means one thing. It means that you get your French fries at a much lower price. With We Insure, what it means is you have direct access. And in Florida, that's 150 carriers, but it might be 87 carriers in Texas or 54 carriers in the state of Virginia. But what that does mean also is you already negotiate the highest tier commission. So when you start on day one, you already have access to all the carriers, or will be added as you join. And then you definitely have access when those carriers come aboard to have the highest tier commission. So it really is a win-win. What I like to tell people is we go to the front of the line. When you get into the franchise, you don't have to wait for 15 years until you built up your book to really have all these access and figure it out on your own. We help you cut the front line. So I'm Chris Pfluger. I am the Chief Development Officer here, and I have a strong, I wouldn't say an expertise, but let's say it's an expertise in franchising. So I'm a certified franchising executive, and I've gone through all of the different courses, and I can tell you of all the franchises I look at them too. I have decided to join We Insure because of the strong foundation and the opportunity that was out there for to help so many people get into the business and help change their life. So back to you, Megan, we want to go back to you and ask you a little bit tell me about your background. So you came in from a strong insurance background and you found We Insure and decided to join here as well.
Yes. So I like to say that I started insurance when I was born because my mom actually was a State Farm agent. And like many of us agent children out there, we did all of the nights and the weekends, filing different paperwork, cleaning the toilets, all the fun jobs. We did a lot of that. I continued that into my college internships where I did cold calling for many different offices in the Orlando area. And I don't think I've ever been cursed out more, but it built character. So, as I left college, I continued as a producer in the Orlando area. Then I moved to the greater Atlanta area. And that's actually when I started getting interested in my own agency. And when I was looking at my own agency, I joined the Agent Aspirant program with State Farm. And when I was looking, a good friend of mine, Megan Vasali, she introduced me to We Insure. And I was like, whoa, I had a whopping 20% closing ratio at that time. And so I was like, you have how many carriers? What? I know I can increase my closing ratio. So that's really what piqued my interest at the beginning with We Insure is that access to more carriers. And I think that's really what that initial, shiny object with We Insure is that, oh, you have more.
Well, Megan, you might have frozen there. So I would say, you're absolutely correct. We do have more carriers than anybody else.
Can you hear me?
I think you're back now. Gotta love it live, right?
Yes.
And I was just saying, it's true. We have more carriers than anybody else. And, the real value of that, I mean, people hear that. It's just, a phrase, right? It's just, hey, we have over 150 carriers. How many do you really need, right? Well, the question really comes down to when you're giving us the response of saying, if you're with a captive, the State Farm, the Allstates, the farmers out there, if you think about it as a consumer, you don't really realize they don't have many offerings. They just have what they offer. And when you go there, advertising is great, but you don't realize they may be 30% higher and maybe not offer the same kind of coverage you can get with a different carrier. And that's why your 20% was a tough thing to do.
Exactly. And, honestly, you are able to give the right coverage at the right price when you have all of those options. That's what initially really piqued my interest in what has continued to really fascinate me and continue to make me so passionate about We Insure is really that back end support. That initial market access is fantastic. When you are using most of your time in your day to do service work, I know I'm guilty. I've messed up mortgage changes more than once. So, there's all that kind of back end work that really isn't your primary focus, because you want to focus on being a risk manager and focusing on helping your clients. And that's what We allows you to do with all the different support that we have here. So, with all of those things, plus our culture, we're really agent focused. To be honest, Philip Vasali, our CEO, is an agent at heart. So that's where it just bleeds through. All of us are passionate about helping our agents have, more time to sell, more time dedicated to being that risk manager. So I know that culture really bleeds through, and that's why I call We home.
Well, it does make sense. I had the same experience myself, not from an insurance perspective, but just from a consumer / interested party perspective, and found that, once you start realizing what's out there and what's available to you, you can save not only quite a bit of money, but you actually have the appropriate insurance for your situation, as opposed to the best thing that particular agent could find.
Exactly.
That's a very different, it's a tough situation to be in as a consumer to figure that out. But with We Insure, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let me ask you the next logical question. Who's a good fit for We Insure?
So, I've been doing this for almost 5 years. Over 50 entrepreneurs I've helped really discover the power of We. And they come all shapes and sizes, all different backgrounds. So I really think that if you want to be the best insurance agent or have the best insurance agency you can have, I think that's where you find that good fit. So I've had tenured agents who, like I was mentioning, they're turning away business because they don't have the carriers, or they're spending over half of their time just doing things that aren't helping their clients and helping their growth as an agency. Or I have people who have changed careers completely, brand new to insurance. Maybe they came from pharmaceutical sales, or I know somebody who came from mobile phone sales. If you're a true salesperson at heart, I think, as you were mentioning, one of our big pillars here at We Insure is training. So we are dedicated to having world-class training. Our training just improves every single day. We are able to help people who have little to no insurance knowledge and get them up and running. Plug in our model and you're off. And then, Chris, you've come from the background of ancillary businesses, and you've known, like you said, you have been in franchising for many, many years, and you really have introduced a new kind of niche for us, which would be that ancillary business. I mean, we know real estate brokerages, mortgage brokerages, financial planners, tax businesses. This is a great fit for that entrepreneur who is looking to round out their business. And I know both you and I have talked to them to help discover talent, insurance talent, to make sure that they have the right talent in their office, to include that with the We Insure model. It's plug and play. We have the playbook. You don't have to reinvent that wheel. We are, we're there and able to get you up and running right away.
Well, we like to say that. That's true. It's really an insurance agency in a box.
Yes.
And, we've said this before on the show. People always say with different franchises and different companies, we're here working for you. And in reality, with We Insure, we actually have people that are licensed working for you. We answer the phone as if we are you. We handle your clients with a white glove treatment because we are you, right? So that's one thing you can rest assured that's in place and out there, so you can focus on growing your book and doing this. And frankly, you mentioned as an ancillary, basically what that means is you have a primary line of business. You already developed all of your client base. You have transactions coming in. You have a lead source, basically. And what I like to tell people is you're already in the insurance business, especially if you're in real estate. You just don't get paid for it because you're not out there. You're not putting the process in place to drive leads and help people get their insurance done. You're letting the insurance questions go out into the field, right? They're just going out to somebody else, and they may not find great solutions, right? Especially in a lot of states we deal in, there's a lot of variety in pricing and carriers, and with a We Insure agent, that person has the ability to check everything that's out there and give you the best alternative for your situation. So whether you want the lowest cost or the best coverage or more coverage, whether you have a building or you have, a brand new, specialty car, you have jewelry, you have fine art, you have a yacht, whatever it is, $100 million house or a mobile home, we have you covered. And that's the great part about it is you can trust that the one person you're dealing with can really give you a true consultative response, as opposed to saying, I've got to find and see if I can shop through people and who has time for that. And so I will tell you the only way that it works as a secondary line of business to help diversify what you're already doing is if something like this existed, and now it does, right, with Insure. So that is fantastic. So my next question for you, which is a great one, is what are some of the top questions you get? And I'm sure it varies based on if you come from the insurance side or you come from another side, but tell me what some of the top questions you get.
Well, yeah. So, I think that kind of from the insurance side, a lot of those questions are like, well, really, what kind of support do you give? So, support's such a broad term. So, they're really interested in what that really looks like. And I mean, when I say that we've really transformed what support means, especially in the industry, we really have. Everything from your accounting and reconciliation, and we set up your website and marketing support and IT support, down to actually servicing your customers. Like you mentioned earlier, Chris, we're an extension of your office. So we work for you to make sure that customer experience is top notch. Our support is second to none. We've dedicated lots of effort and time into our training department as well, having people come from all different kinds of backgrounds, starting from no insurance knowledge to, 10, 15, 20 years. So we're able to get you up and running no matter what, and really able to support you to focus on that growth-centric model. We're going to service your customers with that white glove service, as we mentioned, and we've dedicated lots of resources to make sure that we have not only the right people, but also taking care of you technology-wise, all of the other resources that we're able to provide to you so that your office is focusing on the most important thing, which is getting your insurance the right coverage.
Well, one thing I have learned, whether it's someone who came from an insurance background or someone who came from, another primary background is using this as an additional purchase of service, is that, we have a team of people that just monitor these carriers. And having that carrier access with risk levels changing all the time and the appetite by some of those carriers changing, especially in coastal states. I mean, it's insane. They'll change, day to day, month to month, and you have to have someone who's monitoring. And we have a whole team of people that monitor those relationships and let you know, hey, this is going to be a good, this is changing for next month. You want to consider X, Y, and Z versus the one you're
Yeah.
with. And that's something that would be very difficult as an individual, even as a team, to put people in place. Not only be very costly, but it'd be almost impossible to have those relationships built up over the years.
Very much so. And I actually have a personal story that my insurance, my homeowner's insurance, went up $2,000. And I had no idea because, but, because of the way our system works, they were able to notify me 30 days beforehand. I got a new policy with a different carrier and was able to have the right coverage, number one, stay with my low deductibles, and able to save me over $1,000. So, like you said, it's a team effort, and we're here to make sure that at the end of the day, we're servicing that insured to the best, of our tools.
Well, I will tell you, I'll add one of the things for me, because I get a lot of questions, because a lot of people are coming from the real estate side or the mortgage side. They're asking the question, hey, I know what I do, and I am driving all these leads, and I have the desire in my office to add this type of a service because nothing like this existed before. So this is truly unique for me to put it in. But my number one question is, how do I find an insurance producer? And, how much do I pay them? It really surrounds around, I don't know. I'm not an expert on insurance. So how do I find the right person? And I can tell you, I've been more than pleasantly surprised that, and we talked about this yesterday,
Yes.
This is, if you have a lead source already in place, let's say you're a mortgage broker, and you already have leads coming in, and you decide, you're in Galveston, Texas, and you decide you're going to add a Insure to it because you just want to offer that extra service to your clients as they're coming through. Let me tell you, as an insurance agent, that's the best job in the nation, because
Yes.
you have a captive lead source that's coming in. You still have to, make sure you're competitive, and you still have to go out there and really, win the business from each client. But it's a competitive, it's an environment of consistent leads, number one. But now you have all these different carriers you didn't have before. You have a higher tier commission you didn't have before. And you have all the support that you don't have to do anymore. Let me tell you, that's the best job in insurance. I can't even imagine, if someone made the call to me, I'd be, yep, raise my hand, I'm ready to go.
It's literally a dream job for an insurance professional because, like you said, that lead source, you have all of the companies, you have that back end support, so you can focus on that growth, quoting, and binding. So it's fantastic.
Well, you've been here 4.5 years?
Yep.
And you are definitely our top franchise salesperson, and you've been around the kind of the change in the company as we've grown. So you've seen that, go from, in the low, 20s, 30s, 40s in franchises up to well over 100, on our way to 150 opening up this year. It's very exciting. Obviously, you've seen the growth. Do you still like it?
I love it.
Okay.
I think I'm like, I was telling my husband yesterday, I was like, this is just phenomenal. It's beyond it's surpassed what I thought it could be. So in just like 4.5 years, which is a short time, we just really transformed into such an incredible model. We had all the bones before, like they say, the house had all the bones, but, putting all of the things together, all of these elements, adding such great talent to our team, and all of that married together is what I think we're seeing that growth, like you said. And it's fantastic.
Well, I love it. So the last question I have on my sheet here are, we get a lot of questions along this line too of, what are the steps of ownership? If I'm interested in a Insure, boy, this conversation really tipped me over the edge. What are the next steps? What do I do?
So give me a call. I'm really I want to have a consultative approach. So after we do our due diligence, I'll exchange some information. I got to talk to my boss, Chris Fluger. We do have an approval process, and just like many other franchises that we would go through. So when we talk, we'll talk more about those details, and we can run through some of those things. And our goal is to get you up and running and writing business as quickly as possible so that, we can help you grow.
What's the quickest turnaround time? If I say, I heard this and I said, I'm interested right now, what's the quickest turnaround time?
Well, if we talk today, which give me a call, or you can text me, email me. But if we talk today, then probably 16 days from now, I can get you on board. So
Right.
I can tell you a little bit about what the franchising requirements, because, I know, Chris, you're a franchise expert, but we do have to abide by some of those requirements.
Well, we're going to abide by all of them. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and say, really the steps in the process are it's a multi-step process because we want to make sure it's a fit for you and a fit for us. So it has to be a fit on both sides. And, we're looking to grow strategically. So the right partnerships are key for us because we basically partner with you when you go forward, and your success is our success and vice versa. So we want to make sure we're both the right fit. But then we go through a multi-step process, including a franchise disclosure document, which is what Meg is referring to with a 16-day review. And we go through an application process, a review process. We'd love you to talk to some of our owners out there. We call them brand ambassadors because, frankly, we've had such raving reviews from our existing owners that we're happy for you to talk to any one of them. But if you have a specific need or desire or a specific background you're coming from, and there's someone that lines up with that, we can put you in touch with those folks as well. So all of it is part of the process that we like to say is the key to success, from jumping off point, right? So we want to get you in there. We want to make sure that you're fully aware of what's going on. You're fully excited about it, but you're really prepared to jump into training, and then start, right? So it's basically anywhere from 30 to 45 days is kind of an average time frame, I would say. But
yes,
great time of year right now because as we look at going into the first of the year, what a great time to set everything up and go into the next year with a kickoff. So it's a grand opening. So steps to ownership, important component of it, and we'd like to talk to everybody out there. So Meg, any final words for us as we finish up here today?
Well, thank you for having me on, Chris. And I just want to say, how proud I am to be a part of We Insure. And I would love to talk to each and every one of you about how We Insure can help you find your agency and what We Insure can provide you to help with finding that good model for your fit. So I look forward to talking to everybody, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day.
Well, the last thing I want to mention, and I appreciate you doing that, was, Meg started out and she covered the state of Florida. Now she covers the East Coast, but we've added South and North Carolina to your territory. So I want to make sure we didn't forget that. We're very excited about growth in both of those markets. A lot of opportunities, a lot of folks out there that could really use that help and help their clients, grow with what I think is the future of insurance. So everybody have a great day. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.